Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Nolan Crane. We begin with a shocking story out of Limestone County where a mother is now charged with capital murder for the beating death of her infant son. We have an exclusive interview with her just before she went to jail. WAFF 48's Noah Cowell joins us live from the Limestone County Courthouse. Noah, you were the only reporter this afternoon at Morgan Thornton's hearing, and you even talked with her.
Nolan, Morgan Thornton's bond was denied today after she was accused of beating her infant son to death. Now, during that hearing, her responses to the judge reflected confusion, and she told me afterward she doesn't even know what happened. It really brings into question what really happened last night. Thornton was arrested Friday and charged with aggravated child abuse after police found her baby boy Jonah severely beaten at her house at around midnight. Officers were able to regain a pulse, but the infant died hours later, upgrading her charge to capital murder. The judge explained to Thornton this afternoon that she's charged for killing Jonah, but she responded saying, quote, "I don't understand," unquote. She then asked the judge if someone could give her more information about what happened. Officers say when they went to her house last night after her son was beaten, Thornton was intoxicated. So I asked her myself if she remembered what happened, and here's what she told me.
Good. I put my son to bed. I swaddled him and put him to bed at 7 o'clock. And then.
Do you remember anything after that?
Tried to give him CPR. That's all it.
According to one of Thornton's neighbors, the baby had a twin brother, and they lived with Thornton and their father in a rented home. I also talked with a woman who says she knew Thornton and claims she had some issues surrounding alcohol in the past, but worked really hard on herself in recent years. We also talked with the Limestone County Children's Advocacy Center today about the baby's death, and they say these cases are extremely rare.
They often reflect extreme circumstances such as untreated mental illness, trauma, or even a crisis situation. This is not something we see often, but when it does happen, it deeply unsettles the entire community.
According to court records, Thornton was pleaded guilty to second-degree assault last month after she drove intoxicated while one of her sons was in the car, and then she kicked an officer in the, quote, crotch area, end quote. She was also accused of hitting someone over the head and screaming profanity in a neighborhood. Thornton's preliminary hearing is set for this upcoming Tuesday.
Woman, it don't matter what you say. You can sit there and try to pretend to play crazy all you want to and say you don't remember what happened. You still going to prison for the rest of your life for killing an innocent baby. Why do you dudes out there always get these non-fit mothers that's got a drinking problem? Like, I don't understand why you dudes be getting these type of women's pregnant. Knowing these women's got mental issues, that they're unstable, you know, that probably explains why no man out there don't want to really be around a woman like that. Because a woman like this right here, she's got a freaking drinking problem. And y'all dudes get women like these pregnant and leave these women by themselves to raise a child by themselves. And these women get all drunk and they get depressed because they're left to raise the child all by themselves. And they take it out on the innocent baby because no one's there to help these women raise a child, and so they get depressed and take it out on them. So, I mean, you can look at her and tell this woman got a drinking problem. You can just look at her and tell. Ain't no telling how long that woman been beating on that poor child. Ain't no telling. That explains why no men out there don't want to mess with her. I did hear them mention about the father, but they didn't say anything about the father's whereabouts or anything like that. Didn't say anything, though. So, yeah, man, this woman here definitely gonna get some time in jail, trying to play crazy, trying to act like you don't remember nothing. You know exactly what you was doing. I bet you know what you was doing every time you kept taking a sip on that whiskey, whatever you was drinking that was getting you all drunk. I bet you remember that. I bet you remember when you was drinking that alcohol or whiskey or beer or whatever you was drinking. I bet you remember that. I bet you do. But you talking about saying you only remember taking your son upstairs and putting him in the bed. You only just remember the part where you was not violent, but you don't want to remember the part when you was violent because you know that if you confessed it on camera, you know you intentionally did it on purpose to harm that child. So this woman knew exactly what she was doing, man. This woman here is trying to play crazy, though, man. That trying to sit there trying to play crazy don't always work. You're not shamed for what you did. You just embarrassed at the fact that you got caught. You got caught. You got caught, and that's what people do. When you see people standing in front of that judge and you see them crying, they're not crying because they're sorry. They're crying because they got caught. They got caught, and that's what it is. They got caught. They're not crying for what their actions and what they did. That crying stuff doesn't always work in the judges and prosecutors' eyes. Don't always work. But when it comes to an incident of a man or a woman killing and beating on a baby, that's a bad look in the court's eyes. Bad look. And woman, you going down, and you going down hard. And you gonna get what's coming to you in prison. I hope them inmate women's down there make your life miserable. I hope they do. When you go to prison, when the judge sentences you and give you life in prison, whatever amount of time the judge is going to give you, I hope they make your life miserable in prison, woman. Because you sit there, you get all drunk and get all intoxicated, and you take it out on an innocent baby. You know, people think bringing kids in this world is easy. And it was a newborn baby, too. This baby was newborn. So evidently, this woman was just, and I'm not trying to make up excuses for this woman, but evidently, this was a newborn baby. And, you know, people think bringing a child in this world, bringing a baby in this world is going to be simple. No, it's not. So evidently, whatever it was, that baby did a lot of crying. That baby probably cried around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and you know, trying to shush the baby up, and the baby won't stop crying. See, you know, stuff like that can work on the mental mind of certain people, you know what I'm saying? Especially if they don't have that kind of patience. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have that kind of patience, if you're not prepared to deal with the baby's crying and keeping you up all night, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and the baby crying, if you can't deal with that, then don't have no kids. Don't have no kids, okay? People say, oh, yeah, I don't mind having kids. I can handle it. And as soon as they bring a baby in this world, they can't handle it. They get very depressed about it. They can't shut the baby up. The baby's always crying. They can't catch a break. And then they lose it and start beating the baby to death. And that's what it was with this woman. This woman probably couldn't keep the baby. She probably couldn't hush the baby up. She's probably telling the baby to, you know how it is when the baby can't stop crying, they lose it and take their anger out on the baby all the time. And I said, you know what? People like y'all shouldn't even have kids, man. If you can't handle that, then don't have freaking children. If your mind and your mental state can't handle the baby's crying, then don't have any children. Simple as that. And that's what I'm assuming what that probably was. She couldn't shut the baby up, so she did it in a violent way. And now you're going to prison for it. You're going to prison for it for the rest of your life now. You're going to prison for it. Because, you know, people like her thinking, oh, I can handle it. Yeah, I don't mind having children. I can handle it. I'll be a good mother and father. And then as soon as they have that baby, they can't shush the baby up and the baby really depressed them. They can't handle it no more. So they just snap and just beat the innocent baby up. Jesus Christ, people, don't have babies, don't have kids if you can't handle it. It's not as easy as it look. Ask any parents out there, grandparents or mothers and fathers who raise their kids up to become adults now. Ask them, is it easy to raise a baby up? They'll tell you themselves, it is not easy raising a child up. It's not. They'll tell you. That's all the experienced people who raise their child up and their child's all grown, they all married. They'll tell you it's not easy. So if you can't handle it, don't have children. Don't have children, man. And that's what it is with this woman. She got depressed, couldn't shut the baby up, and she just beat that innocent baby up. Why did you have the baby then? You know, you dudes out there got to stop getting these type of women pregnant, man. Stop getting these women that can't handle these kids, man. especially when they're left by themselves to raise the baby and you working all freaking day, always on the road working, and she left there to try to raise the baby on her own. You know, that's what it is, man. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what her reason was though, but I think because the baby just couldn't stop. She don't want to, because I think that's what the real reason was. That baby just kept crying and crying and crying, and she didn't know a way to stop it from crying. So she just beat it to death. I'm sure that was the reason why she did it. I'm sure that was the reason. Cause you can just look at this camera and tell that she looked all the problem. They said she was intoxicated, which means, you know, that alcohol really kicked in though. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know, man. But there was no excuse for you to doing this. No excuse at all. I mean, if you couldn't handle that baby, if it was too much for you to handle, you should have just went to social service or what. I mean, she's from Alabama. She's in Alabama though, so I mean, if the baby depressed you that much, and it's to a point that it's working on your mental state or whatever like that, and you know, you should have just went to social service and just told the people like, hey, I can't deal with this. You know, it's working on my mental mind and this and that. They're not gonna take you to jail. They're not gonna take you to jail. I would much prefer people to go to places like social service or whatever. Go to a place and tell the people like, look, I'm unfit to be a mother or father. You know, my mental state's not all that good. Sometimes I feel like snapping, and you know, they'll probably understand, but they're not going to take you to jail as long as the baby is not harmed and does not have no cuts and bruises. They probably will listen to your story and understand that and say, okay, we'll take your baby from here and this and that. You know, you gotta think of something, man. Just let people know, like, hey, I can't, I'm not fit to be a mother and father. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of people in this world, they're gonna look at you and be like, oh, you're a terrible mother and father because you're unfit. I would much rather for someone to turn a baby into social service than to throw a baby in a dumpster or leave a baby at somebody's front doorsteps, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what a lot of people is doing nowadays, man. They throwing babies in trash dumpsters, or they're leaving them on somebody's front porch, or they beating them like what this woman's doing. I would much rather for them to go to places like social service and just be honest with the people and just let them know that you're unfit to be a father and mother. It's too much on you. You'll come out much lighter. You'll come out much lighter. Promise you that. They won't give you time in prison or nothing like that. But I guess people don't want to do that because I guess they want to avoid child support. They don't want to pay the child support or whatever like that. That might have something to do with that probably. I don't know. But hey, you made your bed, now you lay in it. You know, when you have a child in this world, it's time to grow up. And I guess when people think it's going to be easy to have a child in this world, they think it's going to be simple. But as soon as they have that child and they see that it's not as simple as they thought it was, they have regrets on it. Oh man, I can't believe I got a child. I can't believe I'm a mother and father. Man, I can't even go out and have fun like I used to. Oh man, it sucks being a parent. Man, I regret having a child. That kicks in their mind. It kicks in their mind now because they're not ready to grow up. They're not ready to grow up. They're not ready to take the responsibility. So people like this woman here, they take the coward way out by killing their own child and beating their child up because they can't handle being a parent. Being a parent is just way too stressful for them. So if you can't handle the pressure of being a parent, then don't have no freaking kids. For all you ladies out there, keep your freaking legs closed if you can't handle the pressure of being a freaking mother. Keep your goddamn legs closed. You know, keep your damn legs closed if you're not prepared to be a mother. Because, yeah, in your mind, y'all vision don't want to have children. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to have children and bringing kids in this world. But it's not as easy as y'all think it is. It's not. And that's what it is with this woman. The baby kept crying. The baby just put a lot of pressure on her. And, you know, she was doing it all by herself. And it just got into her. So she just started drinking a lot. And that drinking finally kicked in on her. And she just started beating that baby up. Probably telling the baby to shut the F up and this and that. Cause what other reason you going to beat that baby? What other reason you going to do that? Because the baby kept crying, the baby got on your nerves, and you started drinking heavily, and you just took it out on that poor innocent child. That's exactly what I think would happen. I hope you rot in prison, woman. I hope you rot in prison, and I hope they make your life a living hell in prison, woman. I really hope they do. Anyway, peace.